What's up, guys? Dan here for BladeReviews.com, back with another review. This time we're checking out the ESEE Zancudo, a rock star $30 budget folding knife here. I wrote a written review of the Zancudo at least 6 months ago at this point, and a very favorable review. It deserves a video review, and I finally am getting around to doing it. So I've got it next to a couple other excellent budget offerings, the Rat 2 on top and the Kershaw Injection 3.0, so it should provide some reference for you. Although I will say that this has an overall length of 7 inches, it's got a 3-inch blade, and it weighs right around 3 ounces. So it's a perfect pocket-friendly EDC knife. It could be a backup to a fixed blade or a larger folding knife if you are going to be really using it, outside of just day-to-day kind of EDC stuff. But it makes a great little pocket knife if you're going to carry it on its own as well for more pedestrian kind of uses. So let's take a look at the blade here. It's about as simple as it gets. It's a drop point. Mine has been used quite a bit, so it's fairly dirty and kind of beat up at this point, but robust, stone-washed AUS 8 blade with a full flat grind, thin, slim piece of steel here, keenly ground. It's a great little slicer, perfect for cardboard. I've cleaned fish with it. I've opened up plenty of packages and envelopes and things like that, cut some rope, whittled some wood. I've been using it for at least 6 months at this point, so I can say with confidence that it's a functional, highly functional blade. AUS 8 steel, so it'll sharpen easily, won't hold an edge forever. Perfectly acceptable for a $30 knife like this. Decent stain resistance, although it will rust if you leave it out, maybe by salt water like I have, or done a lot of food prep and haven't cleaned it up. I have had to clean some rust off this a couple times, but then again I've probably abused it a little bit. So moving to the handle here, you have an FRN handle scale over a stainless steel liner, so it's a nested steel liner. You've got 3 standoffs and then a stainless steel locking side. So simple, robust construction, but it has some nice details. First of all, you get this corrugated, reasonably high traction handle, and then you'll notice that you have black hardware on this side and silver hardware on the lock side, which is kind of a cool little touch here. You may not expect to see that kind of attention to detail in the design of a $30 knife, but ESEE went out of their way, I think, to really make this punch above its weight as far as the value proposition. So it's a cool knife with some neat little details. Standoffs are well executed. You do have a lanyard hole here, and you do get an ambidextrous, or not ambidextrous, right side tip up, tip down pocket clip. It's simple. I've kept mine as a tip down carry, which is a little bit different for me, but I use the knife just fine like this. You do have the option to swap it over. The lock side has been given a tumbled or stonewash finish to it. Pocket clip's good. It's got good retention. Buries decently deep in the pocket here. Isn't the most discreet clip, but if they went with a black coating, I'm thinking it probably would have just worn off almost instantly. So the silver coating, or excuse me, just the bare steel looks good, and it functions well as a pocket clip. Moving to the ergonomics, this is a comfortable little knife. It's got a nice area for your finger here. You've got this useful run of jimping. It's mild jimping, but it does capture the thumb well, and you can really bear down on this knife, get some real work done with it. Like I said, I've really shown it no mercy. Used it in the yard and all sorts of things like that, and it's held up well, and it's been very comfortable. No real hot spots in my use here. Plenty of handle room for even a larger hand like myself, and you'll notice it has this little divot back here, which feels like, it's something, a place where you can put your thumb if you are going to use it in a reverse grip. Let's talk a little bit about the deployment and lockup. You do have ambidextrous thumb studs. They're easy to access. Let's try that again. You can flip the knife open, usually without a problem, unless you're recording a video for YouTube and then you screw it up. But easy to get at for the most part, and you have a very solid, secure stainless steel frame lock. Mine still engages early. It's not even fully engaged at this point. And again, I see these selling for like $27, so I'm quite impressed. Nice and tight. No blade play or any issues at all with the lockup. And blade centering is pretty good. It's not perfect on mine. I could probably adjust that pivot and make it perfect, but for a cheap EDC piece, I'm really not going to lose any sleep if it's slightly off center. It does have phosphor bronze washers in there, so it is surprisingly smooth, and it's easy to get that blade open, thanks in part to the high quality washers in there. So it really does round out the knife, and it makes for a nice piece. Final thoughts real quick on the Zancudo. For $30 or whatever it's going for online, it's a no-brainer. It's a beautiful little knife. It's fun because it's cheap and something that you can beat on without any real regrets, but it also is interesting as a collector's piece too. I have kind of caught myself admiring the knife a little bit, despite it being inexpensive. It's well made and thoughtful, and it gives you some enjoyment as a collector as well. So I wasn't necessarily expecting that from the Zancudo, and I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would, frankly. It's kind of a plain looking knife, but when you get into the details and when you really begin to carry and use it, it's a tool that you can appreciate. So I definitely recommend the Zancudo. Guys, that's the review. Thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Dan for BladeReviews.com. Take care, and I'll be back soon with another knife review.